Thank you for your help tonight. Good evening, everybody in Brisbane. Good evening, everybody on the net. My name's Todd Reynolds. It's so great to be with you tonight. Thank you to Kieran Welch and Flora Wong and Connor Donetto of Dots+Loops for having me here to join you tonight. It's a real thrill for me to be here. I was in Brisbane last year. I spent one of the best 10 days of my life there. So great food, great coffee, and incredible people and incredible music. So thanks for having me. Here tonight to talk about streaming. So let's go. I mean, part of this is you can go into this whole hog and lose a couple years of your life. But since we've already lost about 6 months to being inside, that's kind of what started all this for me. I'm a violinist. I'm an electronic music by profession, an electronic musician. I'm a composer, and I hadn't really spent any time looking into a lens like I'm doing now. And when it came to the time of COVID over here in the States, I realized that I was going to be teaching all my university classes online, and I decided to try to step up my game a little bit. And isn't that what all of us as performers do? You know, we're live people. We're used to being on a stage. We're used to interacting with each other. But most importantly, we're used to doing live music. So I moved my whole game online, and at first it was, oh my God, I have a recording studio here because that's my work, but I don't have any great cameras, and I've got my eyesight camera, which doesn't really look all that great. I mean, it kind of looks okay, but I mean, how many ceiling fans have you seen in your lifetime, of being online? This is kind of sometimes what you get when you're on a Zoom call. So I started to work it out, to get it all kind of looking a little bit better. And that's what has brought me to this point. So let's get started. It turns out that I've done a bad thing. So I have to figure something out here really quickly. So since I've made a mistake, thankfully I have my love Isabel here to tell me that I have no sound when I move to that particular scene. So that's a problem. I think what I'll have to do is just open it up over here instead. So let me do that. And we'll do this this whole PDF thing in a different way. Here we go. There we are. There we go. Here, let me pull it over here, and we'll just use the old right monitor instead. There we go. So here we are with just a beginning here. Now, if you're like me, I didn't have a whole lot, so I kind of decided that I would beg, borrow, and steal to get everything I needed. And so the first thing I did do is I learned the difference between streaming wirelessly and streaming in a hardwired fashion. So I started out with my eyesight camera in my laptop and my recording studio here, a basic, a good mic for good audio. And what I'd like to really throw out to you is the idea of not starting at a disadvantage. you've been on Zoom calls, right? You've been on Zoom calls where the audio drops out and it's kind of stutters and the stream isn't very good and you can really tell that somebody's having a rough day of it. This is how you correct that. First of all, an Ethernet cable. This is kind of your basic foundational necessity for streaming. I'll show you in a minute, but wireless is really kind of compromised in terms of how it sends packets over the internet. So it leaves you wide open to instability. So first, seek stability in your streaming. That's something that is probably paramount in importance. The next thing is, especially if you're using an internal microphone on your laptop, put in some headphones or some earbuds. The Bluetooth ones add a little bit of delay, so that can be problematic if you start to try to play and do a live stream performance. But these are hardwired headphones, and I've got an Ethernet cable plugged into my system. And then the next thing is the best audio that you can achieve. Do whatever it takes to get great audio for yourself. It could be buying a $50 microphone. Could be just getting a webcam that has a microphone built in that's slightly better than the one that's built into your computer. You know, laptops are made to cover so many people and cover so many things that you need to do at a very basic level, right? Of course, if you pay a lot of money, you can get a whole lot of stuff, but laptops themselves basically try to cover a lot of things and not do it all that well. So that's where we start to think about making great audio for ourselves. You can get by without great video. It's hard for people to stay to listen to a stream without some really great audio. The last thing, light. Light. If I were to turn these lights off, I'm not sure if I can actually execute that, but let's see. You know, I mean, I could turn my overhead light on, I guess, but yeah. Now, this is kind of cinematic, I got to admit. It's got, you know, I kind of look like I'm in a dark detective thriller. But good light, no matter what, is kind of what you need. If you light even one side of your face, better off than having the old ceiling fan light above with the kind of ugly apartment yellow light on you. Anyway, moving on. Here's what I did today. This was what I did in the late afternoon. I decided to measure my wireless for you. Now, your wireless will vary. What you're seeing here is a website called speedtest.net. Now, you can access that, I'm sure, as well as I can. In fact, maybe you can try and let me know in the comments if you are successful in getting to speedtest.net. But you can measure your download and your upload speed. Technically, you can't even stream if you have anything less than a 10 megabyte per second upload speed. But right about 10, it becomes possible. And then everything above that is going to be not gravy, I would say, but it's going to help you. It's going to help you get your data out to the net. Upload is really obviously what's sending your image and your audio up to Zoom, up to Facebook Live, up to wherever you want to stream. So that's something you really have to pay attention to. The download speed, of course, is what's coming back down to you. And download speeds, you know, it's often asynchronous these days. When you have fiber, it's synchronous, 200 up, 200 down. But most of the time, you're going to see these kinds of numbers, anywhere from 84 down to 20 up, or in this case, 374 down, 21 up. This is with an Ethernet cable. Once I take that Ethernet cable out, and the Ethernet cable, of course, just comes from your router or from your modem. Once I take that out, it dramatically drops, you can see, in half. You know, and with your wireless routers, you'll often have the 5 gigahertz portion, which is there for your devices, and then the 2.4 gigahertz thing, which is kind of designed for the Internet of Things. It's designed for distance rather than speed, right? So you might find your refrigerator or a radio connected to a 2.4 gigahertz part of your router. But you see how much that degrades over time? That's why I kind of ask anybody who I work with to work on an Ethernet-based system. It doesn't cost much. You'll see in a moment. It costs nothing. Now, rule of thumb, choose great audio before you choose great video. I can get along with my eyesight camera, but I can't get along with audio that's constantly full of noise from the outside world, because there's a tiny little mic inside my laptop which is measuring the air all around it, including the fan that's cooling it down. So try to get good audio first when you're streaming. That's super important. Now, if you want to play, if you're an electronic musician or so on, you're going to have to do a little dance with what's known as an audio interface. If you don't know that term already, it's actually an outboard piece of gear which turns your audio signal into numbers, because inside of a computer, there is no music, sadly. There's no sound. Once it hits a computer, it's all numbers, and then comes out and becomes electricity again, right? So you're going to want to figure out how you can deal with either a USB microphone or perhaps an audio interface, and begin to build up some gear around you. The good side of that is you're already at that point ready to make your first Bandcamp release, and wouldn't that be awesome, right? So then, light over camera. You can get away with a pretty nasty camera. But if you're in the dark, nobody can see your face. So the first thing for a Zoom call or any kind of streaming is to make sure that you have lit your face. Now, there are some pretty inexpensive ways of lighting your face. You have a lamp at home, I'm sure of it. Probably a tabletop lamp. If you take the shade off of it, it starts to cast a light right up into your face. That's an awesome way of lighting your face for absolutely no money. If you're inspired, go down to the hardware store and buy a $5 plain shower curtain liner, and just find some way of hanging it up. It really diffuses the light and makes it soft. I don't exactly have shower curtains on my lights, but there are diffusers. It's the same material. So I'm going to light the other side of my face here just to show you the difference. There we go. I think I'm back. There we go. That's a little bit more of a balanced light. Any way that you can separate yourself as the subject from your background is great. The light in the back of me are just serve to just light up that background to kind of separate me and put me up here a little bit more present to you in the camera. Here, let's go to the next slide. Let's see what I wanted to talk about next. Oh yeah, if you want to level up now, okay, let's talk about leveling up in the streaming arena. If you want to go further, this is where you start going further. Already, you've gotten ahead of the game by putting an Ethernet cable in your computer, maybe isolating your sound by wearing headphones, and perhaps you got a USB microphone, which isn't that much money, right? So let's talk about microphones for a moment to start out with. Now, let's see. I think that I should have, let me see if I can do this. That button used to work, but now all of a sudden it is, oh, that's why it is working. Live streaming, the other thing is, it is always an adventure. You will find that you'll find that even more so than the concert stage, if anything can go wrong, it will. And sometimes the whole entire universe will conspire against you to make your live stream just, kind of make a really, really bad landing. All right, so here, Ethernet cables. This is your Amazon, amazon.com.au. Either a Cat 5, Cat 6, or Cat 7 cable will get you all the internet you need from your modem or router. Yes, it may be in the other corner of the house. That's what 50 foot, or however many meters that is, internet cable will get you. And there are even, I didn't look for one today for you, but there are retractable ones as well that you can find. They're so cool. If you need a set of headphones, of course, headphones come in every variety. You can get anything that you need really in a headphone, anywhere from $20 to $30 to $100 to $300. And If you've got your Apple iPhone, if that's your drug of choice, then your headphones with an adapter are absolutely just fine to use. And in fact, the microphone in them isn't bad either. So you can really get by with that. You might want to buy an extension cable so you can actually get away from the microphone and play a little bit of music. In any case, here, what else did I get? Here, this is a tried and true thing. You've seen this microphone on every concert stage, every club stage, I should say, an SM58. Its predecessor, the SM57, this was even used back in the Beatles' day, I believe. And we're talking about $100 for this mic. $100 here. I think it's $158 where you are. I think that's our kind of exchange rate at this point. And then, of course, the microphone that I'm talking on right now is the Shure SM7B. And this thing is it's $400 for us over here, $621 for you. And these things you're going to see on podcasters that you watch on YouTube, of course, as well. Now, excuse me, whatever mic you get, it doesn't need to be expensive. You can actually find a lavalier mic for $20, $30, $40, $50, or mics by Rode, R-O-D-E, that are much, much, much cheaper and able to be used just to start with, if not forever. Light. The real simple ring light. This is a whole setup here of a ring light and a tripod and a little phone clamp. If you just want to go Instagram Live or Facebook Live and just on your phone, this is great. Thing about these ring lights, anybody with glasses like me has to be careful because you get these little rings right around your pupils with the light going right in front of you. And if you wanted to go up a little, just a step up from that, you go to LED panel lights and, lighting systems. There's one for $3.99. And that's actually, that one is exactly what you're looking at me with. Those are my lights that are on either side of me. You basically think of lighting in this way, and you could do this with regular lamps at home. You want a key light, one that really lights your face, directly, and is quite bright, right? And then you use a fill light for the other side, and then you use what's called a practical in the back, and that could be really anything, but it's these things that are used to kind of light up your background and separate you from it. Lots of great lighting videos. My partner Isabel is in the other room, and I'll bet you she might hook you up with a Nigel Barron video showing how you can take a cheap camera and make yourself look awesome. And it's also in a spreadsheet that we will give you, that we hand out in our classes that we teach through Amplify This here in the States. So those are the Neewer lights from Amazon. And here we go. Well, that's the next thing. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think we should probably go back to the old spreadsheet and see what's happening over there. I think that's the next step. Great. Your computer in transcoding. This is the next thing to think about when you're streaming. If you have a really super old computer, it's doing a lot of work when you start to think about transcoding. And what is transcoding? Transcoding, transrating, and what was that other term? There's a couple of different things that your computer has to do. Transcoding, transrating, and transsizing. Transcoding is basically taking already compressed video, because when we're dealing with video and audio, we're always dealing with bits, right? So we're dealing with numbers. So in order to push it down data wires through Ethernet cables and out through cable modems or fiber modems, things have to be compressed, right? So transcoding is basically compressing and decompressing audio through something called a codec. And then transrating is talking about actually bit rates, and there are certain maximums of bit rates that different websites will allow. We'll talk a little bit about that later. And then transizing is all about actually resizing the video frame. I have a little box which does that automatically. And so we're talking about 3 different types of things that your computer is doing only with the video. And so you got to deal with the fact that if you're using a 2009 computer or a 2015 computer, that might be why you're having a little problem streaming, if you have problems streaming. So as you're looking for computers, you always do want to look for power these days. I myself, who runs off of a 2018 laptop right now, is about to buy a big old Windows desktop for streaming, because I can't actually handle all the things that I want to do in streaming without beginning to put a little strain, a little wear and tear on my poor little MacBook, which I really want to use for Ableton Live and making great music for you. So that's kind of where I am with that. And then so take a look at your computer. Lots of RAM, lots of power if you can. Windows, I gotta say, you can get a lot more with a Windows desktop than you can with any Mac product, I gotta say, for a lot less money. So I'm kind of platform neutral. I like them both. And then when we go into the software, oh my God. Okay, so OBS is Open Broadcast software, Open Broadcast Studio or Open Broadcast software. This piece of kit, this software is amazing. It is an amazing piece of software, and it is free is what I like to call it. It costs you nothing. And if I have a little moment in the demonstration here, I'll try to give you a little look under the hood of that. Tonight, I'm using Ecamm Live, which is actually a paid subscription piece of software, which is Mac only. I can definitely give you a look at that. In fact, let me just do that right now. You can see really quickly, Ecamm Live has a nice option to actually show you live demo mode. So you should actually be seeing all of my windows here with all of the scenes which I can change and go from one thing to the other, and just, hit scenes which can be composed with overlays, like my name down here on the bottom. I think the mirror image always messes me up. There we go. Like my name, music. You can add things to it. Camera effects. I can actually govern the brightness of my camera right here. So I can change the way my camera looks. I can actually zoom and pan, which is fun as well. It's not letting me now though. That's okay. That's something new. Maybe I can't do that in demo mode. I can change my camera there. You can also see that I can see all the comments and reactions from Facebook, from free 99, right on, Cameron. Cameron L. Fork is right there. Yeah, and there's the site Connor's put up for OBS project. And then sound effects. I mean, I really don't like these too much, but right? It's got all of the cheese and corn built right into the program. Even a party noise maker and an air horn. Oh. Right. So I've seen a lot of people use this, but mostly in the business side. The sounds, I mean. And then scenes. Once again, we mentioned that, and then overlays. If I need to tell you something, I can make a quick overlay to say "Hello World," which is, I think, the first thing that you ask a computer to do ever. And let's see if I can get this in a better color here. Can I? Here we go. Let's make it white. Where's white? Or there, or pink, or something like that, or yellow. I can make it anything I want, and then add it to a scene, or get rid of it. Make it come in and out. So yeah, this is Ecamm Live. It's one of my favorite programs. It makes presenting really, really easy and smooth and changeable. All right. So here we'll go back to the spreadsheet, to the document over here. vMix is kind of an Ecamm Live equivalent if you're using Windows. And I haven't had any touch with it yet, but I know a lot of professionals who swear by it, and I think it's a pretty steep learning curve, but quite wonderful. But for me, I love OBS. I love OBS so much. I'm not using OBS tonight, and I can't even tell you why. I think I just made this quick choice. Then you got to deal with how you get your audio out. Now, I can only deal right now with the Mac side, because that's what I'm on. With the Windows side, there's something called Voice Meter that you can use for this. But Loopback and Black Hole are these programs which allow you to route any audio from any application in your computer out the right ports. Now, when everybody started to do the whole streaming thing, and this starts way back in the day with Skype, or before, even with FaceTime and Skype, what you need to know is that each one of those, all of the programs which take sound in, will only take it in through the left and right of the first two virtual channels. It's channels 1 and 2. So you've got to get all of your output, this microphone, my audio interface, Ableton Live, anything that I want to play has to go through channels 1 and 2. So I have to actually use a piece of software called Loopback to do that. Now, in fact, most audio interfaces which are being made right now, even like the Scarlett, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 third generation, everybody's putting this Loopback software inside their audio interfaces now. So that essentially it takes your output, your main output, where you can mix everything, makes your output and routes it right back in to where it needs to go out to the net. So that's Loopback and Black Hole. Black Hole's free. Loopback is sadly $100. And you resist paying it, and you lose Black Hole, and you look for every free solution you can, and then you end up paying $100 for Loopback. You'll see why. My friend Trevor uses it. Now, OBS kind of looks like this. Now, Ecamm Live, as nice as it may be, could develop into something incredibly detailed, but it's made more for the business world than it is for us musicians who want to all kind of make art with our presentations, right? So this is OBS, and I've got 3 windows, 3 essential sources here. My right display, 1 camera, and then another camera. And I have all these cameras all at once right on my screen. To a certain degree, I can do that with Ecamm, but the transitions are not quite as elegant. On Ecamm, I can't change the time that a transition might take. It's kind of like this, and that's what it's going to be for now. Wonderful developers, wonderful community with Ecamm. OBS is that underground kind of, open source. Everybody uses it. All the gamers use it. And you can have quite a bit of fun. Tons of videos on YouTube. It's a little bit of a steeper learning curve. Boy, is it worth it. Took me a while to get to it. I used Ecamm because it was easy. So there you go. Easy like a Mac, and kind of a walk into the wind like Windows. It's kind of like, it's kind of a struggle to figure out what you want on any given point at any given point in time. I like both. Anyway. All right, moving right along. This is Loopback. Here's my colleague, Trevor New, who is somebody I'll have you watch on YouTube as well. This guy, we're all kind of making it up as we go along in the streaming world. I think gamers have been doing this for a lot longer than all of us have. And also you'll find, at least over here, that because of COVID, all of the churches hopped on board real quickly and were streaming their live services immediately. So their church services immediately. This is an example of Trevor's Loopback setup. Each one of these setups over here are separate audio interfaces. You can put each one of these at a time, obviously, into Zoom, or send it out to stream, and mix your audio. You see, it's all going to channels 1 and 2. That's what Loopback does, and that's what Loopback accomplishes. If you have any questions about Loopback, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And in fact, Trevor did a wonderful video on his YouTube channel recently on audio routing, which would also help you get going with that. Great. So next, we have to just talk about the stream itself. So here's the first question. Where's your audience? If you want a live stream, first of all, why do you want a live stream? Right? Do you want to talk about, you could make a video podcast about coffee. You could make a video podcast about nature. You could stream about pretty much anything. If you're a musician, though, it often involves wanting to perform and wanting to connect to people through music. And a lot of us hang out on Facebook, a lot. And that's kind of where my audience is. That's where all my friends are. So I stream to Facebook. That's always been my favorite place to stream. Also, if you just want to stream to Facebook, it's pretty much the easiest thing to do. You open up Facebook and you say, I want to do a live stream, and Facebook will just walk you straight through it, and you'll be streaming in no time. And all you got to do is choose your camera sources, and you're there. There are also, of course, other streaming platforms like StreamYards and StreamYards OBS. There's all kinds of ways to get your data out. But really, the four majors are right here on this slide. YouTube's another one. The way I think about YouTube is, are you a content creator? Now, I'm not a content creator yet. I haven't sat down to really orchestrate a YouTube channel beyond my live channel. You can find a lot of the lives that I've done over the past couple of months right there on YouTube. I do want to make some content, though. If you're going to hang out on Twitch or on Facebook, when it comes to YouTube, the people who really are successful streaming on YouTube are those who make content and attract people because of their content. Then when they go live, it's a special event, right? This is also true with TikTok as well. I mean, the TikTok live community is all about how many TikTok followers you already have, right? So one of the things I love about streaming is it's about building community, right? And I believe, especially these days, in building community rather than building audience. Audience is fickle. Community is for real. So the idea of building a stream around interests that really do compel others and have them join you and interact with you constantly, this is where I think live streaming really does start to dig down into some real depth. So YouTube, make content, and then do your live stream. Now, I restream to all of them. Is anybody watching? I don't know. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And then Twitch. Twitch has always been for gamers. These days, people are sitting on Twitch for 3 hours at a time making music in Ableton Live, right? Who knew? And your Twitch streams go away after a while. They don't necessarily stay there forever. And it isn't like Facebook or YouTube, but it has its distinct advantages. And if you happen to be watching on Twitch right now, you are absolutely experiencing better video and better audio than you are on YouTube or Facebook. And that excites me a lot. Facebook has a cap of 720. In terms of an image size. Therefore, it's kind of it's a really limited fidelity. Twitch allows you to actually transcode at a fairly high rate. So if you want to go there right now and check it out, twitch.tv/digifiddler, DIGIFIDDLER, you can hear the difference. I think it's a marked difference. But come on back here to the Dots and Loops page. And then there's Instagram, which you're supposed to only stream to from your phone. So you might want to think about getting a microphone for your phone. However, that's not completely true. Yellow Duck is a software which allows you to stream from your computer to Instagram. So streaming data Olympics. Here we go. Let's check this out. In terms of when your stream reaches your audience, enabling them to chat back to you, Twitch, 5 seconds. YouTube, about 10 seconds of latency. Facebook, 20 to 25 seconds of latency. This has sometimes proven frustrating because somebody will type a comment to me. I'll see it 25 seconds later. I'll respond to it 25 seconds later than that. So you're talking about a round trip of 40 seconds before that comment transaction gets completed. That's kind of crazy, right? Okay, here's the pièce de résistance, Restream.io. I'm going to show you what a little bit, just a tiny bit of what Restream looks like. This is Restream dashboard. Now, just in the beginning, like when you first make a Restream account, you don't need to pay any money to actually stream to several different venues at the same time, right? Check out if I say add a channel. Look at all of these channels: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, LinkedIn, VK Live, D Live, Daily, most of these I don't know, Mixcloud, Kakao TV. Wow, all of these things. And if you go down even further, you'll find Discord in here someplace, I think, and Akamai, and groups and public pages on Facebook. So right now, I'm actually hitting YouTube, Twitch. Let's see. Let's get out of this and go back. This is where I'm going to right now: Twitch, Facebook, Dots+Loops, and YouTube. So that's how it's getting to everybody. So I'm actually restreaming from Ecamm Live to Restream, and then it sends it all out. Now here is how YouTube sets up a stream. You'll find a lot these things right here called a stream key, and in OBS you'll have to come find stream keys in Facebook and Twitch and Facebook, Twitch, and well, virtually anything you're streaming from. You'll need a stream key, and it's a unique set of digits, and you put it into whatever is managing your stream, and you're there. So that's the way Restream kind of works. It kind of broadcasts you out across the net. So here's I just put a quick picture of Trevor New in here. He actually just the other day made a wonderful OBS video, kind of like how to get started in OBS. One of the things about Trevor, he's part of the New York exodus. Some of us have kind of come up north into the woods to get some peace and quiet, and Trevor's one of those folks. And he's teaching from his home up in kind of near Woodstock. So there's a lot of beautiful hiking up there in New York. So check out his YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/Trevor New. I believe that Isabel probably put that up as well. But you'll see OBS there, kind of the same things I showed you in Ecamm Live. It was, I did take this out of live demo mode, didn't I? I just want to make sure that I did. I did, good. And you'll see the screen here with all these settings: scenes, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, and the sources right next to it. These are your cameras, maybe your browser, something else, you know? So you can add sources and then be able to kind of control these and bring them in and out, even with beautiful transitions at will. And that's Trevor. Oh, here's another one of my colleagues that I love to share, Dan Tepfer. Oh my God, this man, talk about YouTube content. His YouTube content is extraordinary. He works with a synclavier and makes these graphic images, which you see here, which go on an overlay right in front of him. You can, it's kind of in the middle of the morning for you. But if you're ever up at 4 a.m. In Australia, in Brisbane, on what would be, let's see, that would be a Tuesday, in the middle of Tuesday morning for you. Monday at 2 o'clock here in New York, he streams every week from his apartment. And he does the most extraordinary work with OBS and with overlays and even, changing his scenes with a MIDI controller. He's kind of awesome. And he's a wonderful improviser, a wonderful a wonderful programmer, and a wonderful guy. So that's Dan. Yeah, go check him. Go check him out. He's a jazz musician who likes to play the Goldberg Variations and György Ligeti all in the same program. He's quite extraordinary. So that's another one of my colleagues. I left this slide for the end, and I'll come back to this. But for right now, let me just go back to main camera here and see if there are any questions here. What I actually think that I'm seeing the comments from anybody who might be on in any of our different venues. But the other thing I can do, which I just began doing today, and I'm going to really hope that this works out well, I'm going to try to execute the Restream chat. Does not look like it is happening. However, let's see if I can do it now. No. Interesting. All right. So as I said, I think that I'm seeing all the comments. I'll wait a few minutes longer because, as you might imagine, it could take up to 25 seconds. You know what? Let me play some music for you. How about that? I think that's maybe a more fun idea. Get to hear, especially depending upon where you're hanging out on the internet. We can hear a little bit of what great stereo can sound like, assuming that I can get some great stereo out of this. Let's see. Great music for me. There we go. It's almost bedtime for us here. So I thought I'd a little lullaby to soothe the soul. How about that? Thank you for listening. I wonder if you do have any questions. I mispressed a button and I showed you my other camera. These are two pieces of kit that it might be helpful for you to know about too. Now these are things you do not need. You've seen me switch cameras and switch views in Ecamm Live, which you could do in OBS just as easily. And yet this is an actual hardware camera switcher. Now, this particular thing is called an A10 Mini Pro. It's by a company called Blackmagic. I've only got 2 cameras in it. You could put another computer input in the 3rd channel or in the 4th channel. You can do really nice little fade outs, nice and dramatic. Bring it back in, change the time of the fades, or just cut between cameras really, really quickly. Makes me a little seasick, so I keep it on auto. But this is the A10 Mini Pro, and there's an A10 Mini for half as much, and then there's the Stream Deck over here. Now, everything that I accomplish on the Stream Deck can, of course, be accomplished through hotkeys on the keyboard or through a mouse, just by touching a mouse. But this is what allows me to change scenes. Even the end credits. So that's it. I do not see any questions coming through. I'm going to tell Connor that I do, and all the Dots and Loops folks, I do see you come through loud and clear. Another nice feature of Ecamm Live is when somebody does make a comment, you can just kind of highlight it on the screen. It's another really, really lovely feature. It goes away after a few minutes. There are new comments. Let's see. There we go. Thanks. Yeah. There's that Dots and Loops gig. You can also find videos on Facebook and videos on YouTube as well. And I'm going to start streaming to Twitch again very, very soon. And of course, I gave you my colleagues as well to listen to. And I should also tell you that we just finished up the inaugural program for our, are we calling it a school these days? Yeah. We do an online educational academy called Amplify This. And Amplify This is a place for everybody from professionals to students to like pretty much anybody who wants to up their game through thinking about streaming, thinking about community building. Our tagline here is this is an old picture for our summer program: awaken, equip, and transform your artistry. We welcome you to take a look at the website. It's undergoing some construction right now because we are about to launch our program in January. Once again, an 8-week program, actually a 12-week program this time, a mentoring and coaching program for musicians to kind of think outside of the box and redesign. If there's ever a time to design a new way of being a musician in the world, it is now. And it is something that's not only going to just change the way you think about your music making, but it also has a tendency, when you begin to think outside of the box about your music making, it has a tendency to bring a lot of good energy your way through new connections, new networks, parallel income streams. I survive as a musician because I can record myself. And I have done that for a long time. I survive as a musician because I love 18 different kinds of music. Okay, it's a random number, but let's say 20. I love all music and all musicians and all countries and all languages. And that has taken me to some of those countries, let me speak some of those languages, and certainly had me speaking those musical languages with people who I never thought I would meet. So that's what we put our academy out there to attract, is people who want to start thinking outside the box, form a small community, do some work with that community, and build themselves into new musicians in ways that they never thought possible or perhaps didn't even conceive of. It's time for all interpretive musicians to become originating musicians, to write original music. It's there in everybody. And it was there in me 25 years ago. That's how I got my start in being something other than the person I was educated to be. So in any case, I think it looks like I think we might have reached the end of our session. So I'm going to say thank you to my colleagues in Australia. Also a hi to everybody down there that I'm friends with. Joe, Chris, everybody. All you folks are wonderful people. And I miss you. And I hope to return someday soon. Probably the thing I miss most is the sound of your birds. It's a fabulous place, Australia. Thanks for having me tonight, and I hope to see you again soon. Maybe we can meet up in another live stream at some point soon. Thanks again. I'm going to send us off in this way.